Welcome to Baltiysk, Russia's westernmost city located in Kaliningrad region. Kaliningrad region is a tiny Russian exclave squished right between Poland and Lithuania. In fact, Poland's just about 30 kilometers that way, straight ahead. Now, Russia is a country you hear a lot about in the news. Oligarchs, wars, sanctions, you name it, we've got it here. But what's it really like? Let's go have a look. Join me on an adventure throughout the whole country. We're gonna go everywhere. We're going all the way from the most western point right here all the way to the far distant mysterious east in Chukotka to the city of Anadyr. It'll take us a while to get there, but I bet we'll have some adventures on the way there, so join me. But first, let's have a look at Baltiysk. Just checked into my hotel here in Baltiysk. This is what $30, or about 3,000 rubles, gets you in the town of Baltiysk. Pretty small, maybe a little tacky with the golden bed, but I mean, it'll do the job. Best part is, курение в номерах запрещено. No smoking allowed in the rooms. The fine here is 1,000 rubles, which is $10. With these kind of rates, you might as well smoke. Fun little war symbol here. Now, before YouTube accuses me of promoting Russian nationalism and warmongering, and please YouTube, don't ban me. I've just started my YouTube journey. Actually, I'm enjoying this, to be honest. So, back to the Z symbol. That's a war symbol for the Russian war in Ukraine at the moment. So not funny at all, but you know, this is a city with a huge fleet base here. So we're gonna see a lot of this stuff here. We've got some classic Russian shops here. I mean, local ones at least. I haven't seen these in Moscow, to be honest, but butil, bottle, you can guess what they got here. And Kant market, which is just a grocery shop. Kant was a famous German philosopher from the region. So there you go, drinks and philosophy. The two go hand in hand at times, especially in Russia, apparently. You know, walking here in the streets of Baltiysk, you see some pretty funny stuff. So let's have a look at this house here. So white, blue, and red, just like the Russian flag. So here we've got a classic of any Russian city, any Soviet city really. Vladimir Lenin himself. Look at this little beauty. This is the main square of the city, so we've got everything here. And distance, we've got some Russian armored carriers and tanks. I'm not going to film those too much because I don't want to get jailed for one of my first videos. But yeah, here we are. It's the center of Baltiysk. We've got some beautiful wildlife here. I mean, not the pigeons are obviously, but the swans. They're trying to feed them here, but they don't seem to want the... Oh, here's one. I understood that we're trying to feed it. Smart swan. We got some wildlife here in between all the boats and everything. Military ship right there. There's a saying here, apparently, in this city that Baltiysk, город лебедей и военных кораблей, which means Baltiysk is a city of swans and military ships. A bit of a contradiction if you ask me, but hey, why not? Still feeding the swans here, and they got pretty hungry actually. They got the message that we are feeding them. Камере привет скажи. Привет. That's my mom. She says hi to YouTube. And there's the swan. Here are all the military ships. Let's go have a look. Baltiysk was actually one of the last German cities here in this area to fall to the advancing Soviet troops in the last days of World War II. And it used to be part of Germany, and before that Prussia. It used to be called Pillau, in fact. Then afterwards it became a big base for the Soviet fleet in the area, and the Baltic fleet. And since then, you know, it became a closed city. And that means close to foreigners and to even non-local Russians. So you couldn't come here up until the 1990s. It was completely closed off to people. And then since then, you know, you have a period of relative freedom. People can come here now. But who knows, that might not last, actually, the way things are going these days. In fact, what's interesting is that Baltiysk is still a partially closed city to foreigners. You need a special permit from the FSB, Russian security agency, in order to go anywhere here. And there's several of these areas where you need these permits in the region, not just here. So, you know, hey, for once my Russian passport is actually useful and can make some content for you guys. Now, another funny thing is that my GPS is completely off here. It doesn't work. Like, there's so many military bases here that they just jam everything. So here it says that I'm in the city technically, but like really far off from the coast. Yesterday is even worse. In fact, I was saying that I was in a different city, you know, about 50 kilometers from here. So yeah, then it's crazy what they do here with the military stuff. Now, when the Soviets decided that they wanted this city, which they wanted in order to have a warm port, so to speak, so one that doesn't freeze in the winter, they needed something that you know, you could actually use your ships, you can use your fleet in the winter. They didn't have that here in the Baltic at the time because you only had St. Petersburg. So what they did is they took the city and deported basically all of the Germans. All the Germans had to leave this whole area, and Soviet citizens moved in 1946. So we're going to see some, you know, traces of German presence to this day. There's still a lot of buildings. You know, Germans build good quality buildings. There's still a lot of that. We're going to see some German airfields, military installations, all kinds of things. Let's go see. This is a huge base. You see so many ships here, you know, very big ones, all kinds of specialized ships. No idea what they do, but don't think I'm gonna ask the soldiers or the sailors. Here we've got a huge kind of open field area, probably for military parades, that kind of stuff. You know, Soviets and even Russians to this day really love military parades, and some, you know, I guess a fun pastime for some. Maybe a problem in society, a sign of militarism, who knows. But this one's very impressive. I mean, this is a pretty small town, right? And you got a statue of a sailor, I think. And then this huge field, and then a big boat in the distance. 2 cannons that are being used as statues. Very impressive for a small, relatively run-down town, I have to say. The Strait of Baltiysk right now. On this side of the strait we've got the Vistula Lagoon, and then we've got the Baltic Sea over there in the distance, not that far really. And we're on this little boat called Danida. You can see the name right there. The reason why we're on the ship actually is because we're going to the Vistula Spit, which is this very narrow body of land separated by Russia and Poland. That's the border. That's what we're aiming for, the Polish border. Let's see, the westernmost point of Russia. We're on the Vistula Spit now, which, as I said, is about a very narrow stretch of land, about 65 kilometers long, split about 30 kilometers each between Poland and Russia. So we're gonna try and find the border now. Let's see how far we can go. Locals tell me the roads are really bad here, that they're basically from the German times. So who knows how far we'll get, but let's go for it. Let's go for the adventure. So our adventure to find Russia's westernmost point starts right here at a bike rental place. We need some kind of transport. I don't think a car's gonna do it, honestly, from what people have told me. So we need one of these bikes. Let's have a look. Okay guys, we've got our stallion here, the Kraken. Let's hit the road, Jack. Alright, this is it guys. We're going on our little adventure deep into the forest. Let's see how deep we can go actually without the army stopping us. And here we are. Here we've got the burrito. What the fuck? And some German houses in the back. Try not to fall off here. So I've got an old Prussian or German fort from the 19th century here. You know, there were fierce battles here during the 20th century, World War II, but you know, still looks in pretty decent condition overall, considering it's more than 150 years old. Let's go have a look inside if we can. So we're at the fort now, but as you can see, there's a moat. I mean, don't know if this is intentional or not, but it basically says that you can't enter since the fort is in very bad condition. Government considers it dangerous to visit a place like this, apparently. But hey, we're no strangers to danger, so let's go find a way in. So climbed up some sand. That wasn't too hard. Now here's the rest of the fort, and here is about 100 swans for some reason. They really seem to like this place. And that's the beach, all the way to Poland. Poland's very far over there, about 30 kilometers. Alright guys, as I said, who gives a fuck about danger, right? So might as well climb underneath some barbed wire to get to the fort. Alright, let's try not to cut up my head doing this. Here we go. That's pretty damn close. Yikes. Whew, that was close, guys. That's a lot of barbed wire. Now let's go a little further up the walls of the fort. We're not supposed to go, right? But we're going anyway. You only live once, right? Oh wow, it's pretty big here. Impressive. There's our bikes. Nobody stole them. That's good. Okay, that might have been for me, that sound. Who knows? I think I'll climb back down, probably. You can see some kind of statue in the distance. And this is the Baltic Sea. Very beautiful. Alright guys, we've got our Soviet-Afghan war period cap from the military shop. You'll see that in this video or another one. Tune in for that. There we go. Now we're ready for any kind of danger. Let's go. Oh, that's little swan butts sticking out. Here we are, almost in European waters. You can almost feel the freedom. Here, little birdie, come here. I got food for you. How do you even address a swan? Do you do like a pss, pss, pss noise like for a cat, or what do you do? Let's throw some food at it. I think everybody understands food. It's universal language. All right, we're going deeper into the spit, but we're still in civilization because they have a bar here apparently. Might check that out later. Who knows what kind of drinks they got here on the Vistula Spit. So here we've got a Soviet War, World War II memorial. Local workers taking care of it. We're going to see a lot of these on our journey throughout Russia. A lot. All right, baby, we're going in deep and hard. And a little too fast probably, but hey, here's some German monuments. This used to be an airstrip, so let's go check it out. Let's go check these out. Let's see what's inside. I guess this is where Germans used to store their planes. Now there's some fishermen nets here. Must be some good kind of fish in here. Wow, this is huge. And all abandoned. Look at this. It's gigantic. How many planes could you put in here? Other kind of military equipment. And that's the lagoon out there, I think. Could be the sea. And now there's some street art. Some cute cats. What else? Bird, octopus, or whatever that is. Oh, some Japanese stuff. What's that? Anime stuff. So the Soviets, after they captured this, they used this up until about 1995 apparently, and they relocated their air base to Kaliningrad, to an airport over there, which is bigger and more modern. And then this, you know, I'm not sure if they used this building exactly until 95, but the airstrip they did use. But now it's just all fallen into disrepair, and it's crazy. It's still so big, and you know, still sort of standing actually. Hoping nothing's gonna fall off. Let's have a look at this. Lots of abandoned boats, but there's just some fishing nets actually, so somebody's still fishing. But yeah, I mean, most of the stuff's abandoned here, definitely. This boat is so old, it's covered in tiny little shells. Looks like we found actually something that we can climb. This looks really good. Let's go up this tower. I bet there's going to be a hell of a view from there. Alright guys, we're about to climb this German watchtower. Crazy thing is here actually is there's no control whatsoever. You know, there's no tickets for any of this stuff. There's no security. I mean, these are probably original German steps right here that we're walking on. There's literally, like, the government does not care here at all. It's crazy. And there's so many of these spaces, but it's all completely abandoned, all empty. You know, what was the point of taking all this land and not doing anything with it? Aside from Baltiysk, where you got a few boats parked in the harbor. But that's about it, really. Most of the rest of the territory isn't really doing that great. We're almost there. Oh wow, you can see the roof from here. Someone wrote in Russian, "It's тебя очень люблю. I love you very much." It was a lucky lady or guy. Oh wow. You can see everything from here. It's incredible. Once again, I said no control, no security. You just climb stuff that's nearly 100 years old. Hope for the best. Look at the view. I'm on the final set of stairs. I gotta be careful here. And then there's a rail to hold on to. It's nice. Hell yeah. We're on top of the world, baby. Have a look. That was incredible. That's Baltiysk in distance. Got all the military ships in the harbor. Here's all the German installations. The sea. And some more German stuff. And I guess maybe there was some kind of a machine gun up here. Who knows? But anyway, it's really beautiful up here. If you ever get the chance, I mean, well, you got a Russian passport, that is. But even if you got to ask the FSB to come here, it's actually worth it, honestly. It's really beautiful. And it's something really unique. You know, you've got this military city, all these abandoned installations, and then the sea and the swans. It's crazy. It just doesn't make sense. It's too many things all together at once. But somehow it all works out, and it's beautiful and unique in its own way. I've never seen anything like this, really. Here we have a wild Baltic dog. What's your name, little one? Ooh, very fierce. Very scary. And just sneezed. So I had a pretty weird thing happen to me last night, guys. I'll tell you a funny story about it. So I come back from dinner, right? Small hotel, nothing special, nothing crazy, no noise really or anything. And then I'm walking to my room, and then go up the stairs, and there's a man in a military uniform, a huge guy, looks like some kind of bodyguard or something. He's just sitting there on a chair outside his room, and his door to his room is wide open. And I'm just like, what is he doing? Is he crazy, or is he a guard, or what even is happening? It was really strange. And I went outside about an hour later again to get some water, and he was just still there. He was just sitting on his damn chair staring at me, you know, like I don't know, he was suspecting me of something. It was very bizarre. And this morning I was talking to the lady at the reception. She tells me that she has no idea who the guy is. So, you know, he's not like hotel security or anything. He's just a dude guarding someone. Apparently he's guarding some couple. Who knows, maybe some military officer is out there, you know, I don't know, cheating on his wife. Wants a guard to not let anybody in while he's like, you know, having fun with his mistress or whatever. Who knows what's happening. Anyway, weird stuff happens at Russian hotels apparently. So you got to be careful. You always got to be aware of what your surroundings are, what you're doing, who you're with in Russia, because you know, things can get crazy very quickly. Things can get very weird very quickly too. Alright guys, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere at this point, but there's some signs on the ground that say that there's something called the corroded city. I can't remember the word in English. Corroded, I think, is the one. Anyway, I think it's a cafe or something, or an art museum. It says different things on the ground, but who knows? Well, we'll find out. One way to find out, really. Got to go there. Here we are, guys. Finally, the Rusty City. Let's go have a look. Here we are, you guys. This is the Rusty City. Let's have a look. Oh, Rusty Dragon house. This looks like a Mad Max or something, actually. Looks pretty fun. Let's have a look. Mad Max style. Boom. Some very interesting art here. It's a beer keg, I think, and God knows what this is. Swords, masks, man of war. Oh, gas masks. Yeah, once again, these are not real guns. YouTube, don't ban me. Alright, so you guys have noticed the aesthetic. It's, you know, pretty cool. Mad Max, Fallout, Stalker kind of stuff, you know. Rusty City, after all, that's what it's called. So the owner here was telling me that they've got little tribes here where you can stay. They've got hostels, you know, campsites and everything. So there's a spot where they've got a Fallout tribe, so to speak. So here you got the Fallout guy right there, right? Where is he? He's right there in blue. And apparently why he's doing this is because if there's a nuclear explosion, if you put your thumb like that and your thumb covers the explosion, you're good to go. You got 15 minutes to get to your bunker or whatever the hell you got. If you don't have a shelter, you're screwed, right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But if the explosion already looks bigger than the thumb on the horizon, you're dead. There's no sense in running, so might as well just enjoy the last 5 minutes of your life. There you go. You learn something new every day. Moscow's 1,400 kilometers away. That's crazy far. I mean, hell, Montevideo is nearly 13,000 kilometers away. It's even further. I hear it's got a Mad Max vehicle. Yeah, if you're into this bad boy, you're gonna suffer. Looks really cool, honestly. Very impressive what they've done here, I have to say. Really did not expect to find something like this in the middle of nowhere here in the spit. This is really cool. Scary looking lady. Now here's something you guys have never seen in your lives. A toilet, you know, a very primitive one. You can see the hole right there. But it's covered in computer components. Man, like, I love this place. This is one of the craziest places, especially here, like all near all these military installations. Once again, I really did not expect to find a little hippie hangout like this. But hey, Russia's full of surprises apparently. All right, guys, since we're apparently on an expedition to check out the toilets. Have a look at this beauty. It's got a fence around it. I don't know if it works. Now, I don't really want to use it, to be honest. Let's see if there's any water. No water pump doesn't work, but... And I don't really want to... Should we? Alright, let's just do it. Fuck it. Oh, wow, it's clean. That's incredible. Probably won't be clean when they have their annual festival here. We're at the sea again. Look at this. Beautiful. And no one in sight. Not a single person. For miles and miles around. Let's have a look. Getting pretty warm out here, I have to say. Pretty warm. Very tempted to go swimming, actually, to be honest, because the water is nice and cool, but it's the Baltic Sea, so it's going to be really freezing. Yeah, just a few people in distance, about 2 people, for like a good 10 kilometers at least. Yep, absolutely no one in the distance. Maybe 2 people, very, very far away. This wilderness, a hippie campsite, and a military base back over there somewhere. Such a curious place this is, Baltiysk. So yeah, if you want a little bit of peace and quiet, you know, a little bit of party probably with their festival in the summertime, come to Rust City here in Baltiysk on the Vista Spit. Beautiful spot, located right in the forest, right next to the beach. It's honestly crazy, so beautiful, and like, you know, hippie calming vibes. You guaranteed to have a good time, I'd say. Hey guys, so this is an old German airfield. I think this is the one. Looks pretty big. Let's have a look. Imagine how many combat missions the Germans flew out from here. You know, destroying many cities in the Baltics nearby, Poland, Russia. And then eventually, you know, the Soviets probably had even more planes here afterwards. It's crazy. And this is all that's left now. Pretty much nothing. Oh, gotta give it to the Germans once again. Very good builders. This airstrip, you could probably land here right now if you wanted to, even though it's been abandoned for 30 years. Yet another airfield, guys. Look at this one. It's huge. Can't even see where it ends in distance. Crazy big for a small place like this. All abandoned now. Here's another bad boy from World War II. Oh wow, this thing is huge. Very impressive. A real World War II bunker. Let's see if we can find something upstairs. You can see the shore a little bit from there. Should we climb this? Alright. Let's do this. There's one. We're on top. There's the sea. There's the sand. Alright, we made it, guys. Alright, guys. This looks like this might be down the road for us, because here it says that it's a border area. Entry and passage with personal IDs passes. I have no pass. Honestly, I've got an ID, but yeah, I'm not sure that's enough. And if you've been following other YouTubers who have gone to such border areas, you know, things end up pretty bad usually if you get across that part. I'm not going to name names, but you know what I'm talking about probably, if you watch travel videos. And there it says that this is a property of the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation. No crossing. Firearms may be used if you cross. So, you know, don't really feel like getting shot in my first video. That'd be a bummer. So guys, this is it. You know, we went as far as we could. This is the westernmost point of the country that you can go to with a Russian passport. And yeah, Poland's about probably another 20 kilometers over there. But hey, we went as far as we could. We had an adventure, and now we're off to other spots. Let's see the rest of the country. See you there. You know, it was pretty surprising. I was allowed to film pretty much everywhere I went. I mean, aside from that border area, but I knew that it's illegal to film there. That's why I didn't go past that sign. Pretty much everywhere I went, you know, the ships, all of this, you know, ex-military German stuff, I could film whatever I wanted. And that's surprising to me, because this is a time of heights and tensions, obviously, because of what's happening everywhere. Last year, apparently, the Ukrainians managed to sabotage, blow up part of a ship, actually, one of the vessels of the Baltic fleet in the port of Baltiysk. So, you know, it's surprising that there's not much more security than normal. But hey, less security over here, and I mean anywhere I'm gonna go, means more videos for you guys, right? So win-win for everybody, I guess. Seems like Rust City is everywhere in Baltiysk. Hello, little friend. Did I already give you a hot dog or not? This is the fortress of Pillau, still being used by the Russian army. So here we got a memorial for all those who lost their lives fighting for Pillau at the time, what's now Baltiysk. So we got Red Fleet, the Navy men, Goryshov, Davydenkov, soldiers, Shapka, Sharipov. Once again, soldiers, Dmitrienko, Yanichuk. Crazy thing is, all these guys, all these men, they lost their lives in the last days of the war, literally in April 1945, just 2-3 weeks before the war ended. Terrible loss.